Stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. John.
Here.
Scott.
Here.
Mark.
Here.
Stephanie.
Here.
Dale is here. You guys want to look over the agenda?
The only thing that changed from last night to today was Jeff would like to come in and give his quarterly report. I just assumed that it would go under the monthly office reports, but then I just clarified and put him under the monthly office reports. So he'll be coming
So he's
in.
going to read the report to us.
Come in and give you a quarterly report. I think that one in there is like a monthly report, but yeah, he'll come in and give you a little report on it.
I'll make a motion to accept the agenda.
Motion by Stephanie to approve the agenda as presented. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Mark. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Barring none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. I'm going to look over the March 17th meeting minutes. And it looks like we also have
I forgot to add that one too. There's
some
the March 29th.
from the
It's in
town.
there, it's in there, Sam.
I didn't have it on the
Oh,
agenda. Yeah.
How you doing? Good afternoon.
I'll make a motion to approve March 17th.
I think you should wait a minute.
Oh,
There isn't anything in there about our selection committee.
oh, that's right.
We need to amend our
There you go. It
agenda.
doesn't even have the vote.
No, no, it doesn't. Nothing's in the vote.
I've got more to say about that, but
Yeah, I mean, we have to have, we have to
to.
have the vote. I mean, that's what's selected. The rest of it isn't necessarily a discussion. The discussion would, and then we have to have the vote. You know, I forgot all about that being on there. How come that never made it? Or was the tape recorder not working that time?
No, that was working.
Oh,
Yeah.
It wasn't very clear. I did listen to the minutes. And it was hard to pick it up. And when I contacted the state, now this is the way I've got my turn, but I sent in all the information to the state, and he said we still need approval by the mayor or chairman, needs the minutes of the meeting, and a motion to select Ackerman Esco, which we didn't do a motion to select. Our vote indicated it, but we didn't make a motion second and then vote on it. And then they said he said that we voted by secret ballot, which he didn't know if that was legal. And so that we probably should re-vote today. And he said I wrote a memo to the Griggs County Selection Committee, recommends to the Griggs County Commissioners an engineering firm of Ackerman Asphalt to do construction engineering on project SC 2017 PCN 220.
There was a vote,
There was a vote.
Yeah.
because the vote was 3-2.
Right.
Yeah, the vote was on the pieces of paper. And I
No,
said
no,
that.
the vote was to approve the engineer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But we did it by paper ballot.
No, the 5 of us voted.
We did.
Two against and 3 for.
Paper ballot.
It was paper.
Paper ballots. I told them, we read the ballots out loud, the votes. It was 3-2.
You did a paper ballot.
It wasn't a voice vote.
It wasn't,
No.
It was a voice vote. It was.
It was the paper ballot, but didn't we have
Well,
a
how
vote
was it a
after?
paper ballot when Steph wasn't even here?
I did her ballot for her. Yeah, she texted me and I did her ballot for her.
and I wrote that in my email. to them
Yeah,
also.
yep.
Did we
Well,
make
we
the
just
did somebody make the motion, make the second, and then do paper ballot, and then have conclusion, or was it just
I-
like, here's a paper ballot, let's
I know how we're gonna fix it.
just redo
We're
it?
just gonna vote again.
That's how we're gonna fix it. is just
Yeah.
do it again.
Right, Wayne?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do it again, put it in the minutes,
Yeah.
because he wanted a copy of the minutes of the meeting. And so I tried to find it, but there wasn't anything in there. We went right to that chip seal project
That's right.
after that. After we assumed that was correct. I mean, because
Yeah.
I think Dale read 3-2,
Yeah.
but there wasn't a motion made then to accept that.
To accept the vote.
I will go back on that recording
Yeah.
because if my memory is right, we did a paper ballot and then we did a vote afterwards, or didn't we do that?
There should be a roll call vote.
I-
There
that's
wasn't.
what I,
Vote on the chip
there
seal.
wasn't one.
On
Okay.
chip scale it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not on the actual
No,
engineering firm.
okay.
Just by the.
So that's, okay.
I'll take the blame, it was my fault. 'Cause I didn't-
So in the minutes, just say that there was discussion on the engineering services for the project, and then I'll find that project number? Is that what you guys would like in there? Or how do
we need
you,
to have, then,
or paper ballots were done?
memo was given to the commissioners recommending Ackerman Festival for the engineering project.
They had such stringent protocols, they probably should have laid them out.
Yeah. Didn't seem like his protocols were that stringent the last time we did it.
No, I don't think they were.
The outcome was a little different. What if that has anything to do with it?
That's what I kind of wondered too.
And then well, this is, I'm taking up your time. The state also wanted approval or written, they actually needed a form that showed that the engineering firm is licensed in North Dakota, belongs to that North Dakota Board of Registration for Professional Engineers and Surveyors, and that the firm has not been disbarred by any federal agency. And I read that out loud.
Yeah, that's typical.
And so he says it can be provided by the consultant, so I contacted Tim Aaron's from Ackerman Asphalt Report to send those documents to the scientists.
Okay.
And he said if we just present that, and the commissioners vote on it, and a roll call vote.
So in the minutes, we need to show that there was some discussion on that, I would think, for the priority.
So right now I have, there was discussion on the engineering services for the project number, blah, 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 and memo was given to the commission from the selection committee to recommend Ackerman Asphalt. Does that sound fine for the minutes this time? And then we'll correct it
For the new one.
today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So where we're at here, are we looking for approval for some minutes with, as amended?
I'll make that motion.
Yeah.
Or-
Yeah.
For the 17th, are you gonna lump the minutes for the 29th in with your, or do you want to do them separately?
We were at the meeting, us three were at the separate at the March 29th. That's a piece of cake, that one, you know, just cut and dry that one.
Is it gonna be in one motion?
Yeah, we can do that.
Motion by Stephanie to approve the March 17th meeting minutes as amended and approve the March 29th meeting minutes as presented. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Scott. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Barring none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We'll look over the bills. I guess I didn't notice anything out of the ordinary.
The only one that you guys had a question about the commercial lighting, and after talking to them and telling them that you guys were questioning it, they did take it down quite a bit. So if you guys would like to pay that, it comes out to about $8 a bulb. We did do a little bit of research. We did try and call Lumber Mart. They didn't return our phone call. And then the hardware store only supplies 4-foot bulbs. These are about 3.5. So unless there's another place locally that you want me to be checking, we can't really get them locally. But so if you guys, there's that. There is a bill in here for the National Association of Counties.
Oh, I didn't see that, huh?
You guys usually don't, but I'm not going to be the one to approve or deny any bills. I feel like that is up to you. So that is the NACO one for $450. Other than that, that was about the only ones that I wanted to report on.
So, we never have been a member of the National Association of Counties.
Nope.
And I
Well, you have.
Not in the last 7.
We've never we've never voted to be a member.
You have never paid the dues to be a member.
And then I understand that the state pays the national dues, correct?
On our behalf.
On our
Yes.
behalf.
Yes.
Because we don't know enough to do what we want to do.
there's absolutely no benefit to the National Association of Counties membership. Well, I take that back. There's a benefit to the National Association of Counties, but not to the county. And then I think on the bulbs, I think we should pay because the bulbs are here, but I think we should take that company off of our vendor list.
Okay.
I don't know if you can justify a mistake, but there was something took place.
It looks a little predatory.
It does, and so I think we should look for, at least if we can't find local, I think we should find in-state vendors.
Okay.
I think
Would any local electrician be able to supply the bulbs to us?
I don't
probably.
know. I would guess it would.
Yeah, well, we need some, this proves we need some competition. If every time we need bulbs, we just call the same vendor, more than likely, that's how this happened. Is, well, they paid it last time, they'll pay it this time, maybe they'll pay more next time.
Maybe Binford Hardware can get us bulbs.
Yeah, I didn't know what was up in Binford and if I should call like if Gilbertson's or some, I didn't know what.
One of the electrical contractors probably in Fargo, Grand Forks,
Okay.
because that's all they're gonna do anyway. If they don't handle, if the local hardware store doesn't handle it, they're gonna go to one of the regional suppliers.
Yeah, but there's Hoyt Electric and
Right.
there's many locals we can go through too.
Actually, Cody put in a bunch of these fixtures when they had that program to, when the government, the federal
Yeah.
paid for that program, he put in a lot of these fixtures.
Cody, oh, yeah, okay, yep.
That'd probably be a good start.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion to approve the vouchers excluding the National Association of Counties.
Motion by Mark to approve the vouchers as presented with the exception of the National Association of Counties for the amount of $450. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Scott. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Barring none, proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Stephanie?
Aye.
Dale votes aye. Motion
Who
carries.
seconded that motion?
Scott.
Scott did, okay, thank you.
I'm gonna look at the monthly office reports. And you have a quarterly report for us, Jeff?
Yeah,
Okay, you wanna go ahead with that?
yeah, thanks for being here today and thanks for supporting Extension. As you know, I was out for the beginning of the year on family medical leave, but I had some parents step up and do some things for us. So Carolyn Abraham coached the crops judging team until I returned, and they went to several contests and did quite well. We had a total of 10 individuals that judged this year compared to only having 2 a year ago, so that was quite an increase. At the state's crops judging contest, the junior team of Oliver Fuel, Mary Catherine Fuel, and Maddie Abraham and Lane Haugen in the junior division placed 3rd as a team, and Maddie was 4th overall, and Oliver was 15th, and Mary Catherine was 16th, and Lane was 39th. In the senior division, we had to combine with another county because we only had 2 individuals, and Rosie placed 1st, Amelia placed 4th, and with the full team, they were 1st overall. So a very good year of crops judging again. The hippology contest, they have went to 3 different competitions, and they were doing pretty well, and they just had the state competition this past weekend, both teams got 1st place. So Jessica Haugen and Don Faulkner are the coaches of the hippology contest. For agriculture and natural resources, Megan Vig from Steele County held my soybean, corn, wheat, and dry bean day on February 15th. Had 6 people at that. Had the county pesticides recertification meeting on March the 16th in the courthouse. 7 people attended. This was our low year for getting recertifications. I'm hosting the annual spring fever webinars here again. Turnout has been a little less than last year, somewhere between 4 and 5 people. I helped host the last of the Annie project meetings. That was a joint effort between Griggs, Steele, Grand Forks, and Trail counties. There were some participants from this county in that meeting. Written 4 newspaper columns, and 4 of them have been printed in the paper. I've prepared the newsletter again as I've gotten back. And then I thought I'd share with you some information that I just had received here at our spring training for 4-H. And it's about a survey that was done for volunteers. And it showed there, if you see the front page, that 98% of the youth, they help serve their communities, 96% help make youth ready for future careers, and 97% help youth build leadership skills. On the back side of that page, you can see what the 4-H volunteers gained in personal skills, the benefits, the NDSU benefits from significant volunteerism there, that 89% made connections in the community on behalf of 4-H, 85% spoke about the value of the 4-H program, 83% recruited new youth in 4-H, 70% recruited and helped train new 4-H volunteers. On the next page, the individual benefits was that they gained skills in teaching, leadership, and communication. These skills transfer to other environments in which volunteers work and live. 95% of them had fun, 95% built new relationships with youth, 87% gained skills that are useful in other settings, and 82% increased their confidence as a leader. There's more information in there that I'll let you read at your own time, but this was a research project that was done by multiple states to find out how volunteers help 4-H. So that's what I had today. Again, thank you for your support, and if you have any questions, I'll take them.
Thank you. I don't have any questions.
Well, thanks, Joe. Anybody have any questions?
I do. On the water board, on the balances, Connie, I'm not quite sure I understand the accounting here. Do you have that in front of you? No.
You can look over that next.
I was gonna say, I have it here.
On page 18,
Okay.
on the income and expenses side, I don't, so down the right side, 33,000, the
I'll
farm
get mine.
drain,
Oh, I can look with Connie.
6,000 approximately on the Tyrol drain.
Mhm.
And then we have 2 negative numbers on
Right.
what's,
So
the first
this-
one I assume is at Silver Creek, correct?
Right, GBS.
And-
So this
and-
column is the beginning balances on February 16th. And the GBS is Silver Creek, TBO is the negative 156. We do, however, in the TBO warrant account have 189. And we are going to, at this next meeting, next Wednesday, figure out what goes back to the county now and get rid of the TBO and keep the warrant account going, so.
So,
and
so I
what
would
should we-
imagine 156,000 goes back to the county.
It should, well, it'd be 109,000, but, right now I've been.
Oh,
putting-
because where did the 47,000, that's my question, where did the 47,000?
That was income from the assessments.
From the assessments, okay.
And actually, I've been doing that wrong because the assessment money should only go in the warrant account
That's
and pay the
correct.
bond. So that's one of the adjustments that has to be made, and that will be made. And then there'll be a new balance for what TBO4 is owed. And there won't be enough money to pay all that back to the county.
No, and
So,
not
but
even
a good
including the
amount.
84,000 that was, of course, we can't use the TBO money to pay that 84,000 that was used on the Silver Creek, they're separate funds.
Oh, yeah, that can
So
be.
basically until, if and when, hopefully mandatory when, that Silver Creek drain needs to be assessed and needs to be levied.
And right now, if the board isn't meeting, there's not going to be a drain, as far as I know.
No,
The
but
vote
once the
was
But it was,
process,
it was voted
it was
on.
voted
It was
on.
voted on and it
Okay,
went down.
once the vote took place, that assured that it was going to be assessed to the amount of money that was spent on it, whether it was built or not.
Not, yeah.
Oh, that I didn't understand.
Yeah. The everybody's at risk up until the vote. The people that put the money into it, the seed money, and whether that comes from private individuals or, excuse me, or government entities, that money's at risk. Once it's voted on, now that money has to be repaid because the taxpayers have give the go-ahead for that project. So that's why we've always pushed that we gotta get that money levied so that this money's paid back.
Mhm.
And that's a century code, that's not anything to do with us, that's the way the whole process works. So,
That money doesn't come from everybody on Silver Creek, though, it comes from the petitioners, I believe, isn't it?
no. Well, once the people that were in the Silver Creek drainage area voted to go ahead with the project, now it's a levy across Silver Creek. The petitioners were at risk up until that point.
But it failed,
The vote didn't fail.
No, it
didn't
didn't.
it? Oh, I thought
The
vote
project
failed.
failed, but the
The
vote.
project
failed.
failed, the vote passed.
Okay,
No.
then you're right, yeah.
The vote did not pass.
Hmm?
The vote did not pass. I
The
don't
second
know.
time it didn't, the first time it did. Remember, they had to vote on it again, and then it didn't
Oh,
pass.
yeah.
But the first time it did pass, and they can't, so from the time the second vote failed, none of those monies that were put in there are reclaimable. But from the time the first vote passed until the second vote, those monies should be reclaimable. Because it was given public go-ahead to do it. And those dollars, the 84,000 and the $156,000, those are taxpayer dollars
Mhm.
that need to come back to the taxpayers of Griggs County.
They come back to the water district. It was water district's money. They can reissue it, but it has to be,
It goes back to the water district, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
not just for the sole benefit of that legal drain, it has to go back.
To the overall water
Or board,
district,
to
and
the-
and then it can be returned to the taxpayer in the form of
Lower
taxpayer
lower
not having
levy.
to fund the
Yeah.
water district until this money is used.
Right.
So eventually, it's gonna work its way back to every taxpayer in Griggs County if it's done correctly.
Yeah. The amount levied to support the water board will be offset by,
Because they'll
By
have
that.
money in their account, they won't
Right.
need a budget. They won't need levied money for their budget until they use this up, which in turn will take the burden off of the taxpayer.
Can I apologize, can I,
Yeah, you gotta go.
yeah, I've got another meeting at 3, so can we jump to my stuff really
certainly.
quickly? And I probably will make it back, but I have another meeting I have to hop on to. The first one is the language for the road and bridge, there's language in your packet. I also redid language. I was gonna pass it around everybody if you get the choice. I think either one of them are fine. I think the language I did later, I think makes more sense. So I wanted you guys to take a look at that and give you guys an option to vote on it or edit it as you guys see fit. Combination of offices, I think it's doable, but I don't know if it's the exact right time to do it. The reason being is there's probably already petitions being circulated for the position split up right now, as it may be. So it's probably a little awkward to come up with a plan to combine the offices while there are people petitioning for those two positions, and there's not a single position on the ballot. So it's up to you guys, but I think, I don't know if the timing's correct to go forward with combining the offices maybe in 2 years or 3 years. Come up with a plan for the next election to combine the offices instead of doing it right now. I spoke with Aaron and Terry at the Association of Counties, and there's nothing that specifically, and no research that I found that would specifically prohibit us from combining the offices right now. But it just is a little awkward since people are already petitioning, or could be petitioning.
And mistakenly right, you have to do it when the term is.
Right.
You can't do it in the middle of a term.
We can't do it in the middle of a term.
Right.
So,
Okay.
so for instance, right now, if we don't do it now, it could be done next term or before the next election. So, in accordance with the statute, the county actually doesn't have to ask the citizens, or the formula, I guess, of the statute is that the county actually comes up with a plan for the combination of the offices, and through that, the citizens actually have a period of time to petition and ask that it be made a ballot measure, and instead of the commission actually having to make it a ballot measure prior to doing it. I think it's probably a little less cumbersome if the commission actually was to come up with a plan first and allow people, if they want to appeal or want to petition and put it on a ballot. I think that's probably a little bit less confusing for everybody. So, I think that's probably the best avenue to go, is to wait and.
Can you send that over to Mark?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'll send them, yes,
I'll be available if anybody has any questions. I have to step into another meeting for a while, and, yeah, if you guys have any questions, I'll be back.
okay. So do we need a motion to approve the office report still, right?
Yes.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mark to approve the office reports as presented. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Scott. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Barring none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
I'll give it back to you.
Now, everybody's seen the two options we have for language for the county road ballot measure. Is there any preference?
Shorter, better.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. Less confusing. I agree. We need a vote on this part, on a motion?
Well, we need to choose which one.
Choose what first,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, so I'll make a motion to go with the shorter version. That sound right?
The version that's in the.
In the
packet.
packet, in the packet. Yeah, let's go.
I mean, it's just a little more detailed than the other one, but it conveys the same message.
No.
Instead of saying that we've done it before, it says continue to levy up to 20 mils. And the up to 20 mils is in there, so it really covers everything.
Think so, Wayne? I think it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the county commissioners have authority to levy up to 10 mils, I think it is.
Yeah, and then this
And then the
edition
other
is
20 mils
Yeah.
is voted on by the people, or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yep,
up to 20 mils, over and above the 10.
yeah.
For a total of 30.
Yeah.
Two.
Yeah, so it says to continue to levy up to 20 mils for Griggs County roads and bridges above the 10 mil levy limitation set out in North Dakota Century Code Chapter 5715-067 for a total of up to 30 mils.
Sounds good.
But the main designation is that it's not mandatory 30 mils, it's up to 30 mils.
I'll second Scott's motion.
Would we like it to have it say a yes vote means you approve of the measure and a no vote means you reject it?
Yes.
Yeah,
Added
you're
to-
right, yeah.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yep.
Because that
Mhm.
does a lot of clarifying for some people.
Yep.
Okay, so you want the yes and no to look like this and then have this measure.
Correct.
Got it.
Motion by Scott to use the ballot language that's in our packet, along with adding the meaning of yes and the meaning of no.
It's
And
pretty
second-
self-explanatory, but yeah.
What's that?
It's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, but it's
Okay.
seconded by Mark. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Barring none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
As far as combining the two offices, if Jamie feels it's, which it probably is, a little cumbersome right now with people out. We'll have to wait until you guys feel it needs to be done.
So you can do it up to 2 years before the election, you've got a 2-year grace period.
Yeah,
Franchise does not mean you have to wait till somebody retires. Franchise means that you, at the end of the term.
that's what I understand what Jamie was saying.
The danger by doing it now, even if we could do it, it doesn't give the citizens a lot of time to respond.
Sure.
The feedback on it.
Yeah,
Yeah, and the other problem is if the vote should vote to combine the offices and then we run into some loopholes where we can't get them combined, now
yeah,
we've angered the citizens because they said do it and we didn't do the research
Yeah.
and can't do it, so. And maybe it'll never come up again, but if it does, it needs to be done 2 years prior, 2 years prior to the election. And I don't think we have to put it before a vote. I think it comes before the commission. They either approve it or disapprove it. If they approve it, it goes forward to a public meeting. At that point, at the public meeting, the citizens can ask questions. Then it's on to the citizens to decide whether or not they want to put it onto a ballot.
what means would they use to do that?
Petition.
They have to petition. And how
Petition.
many-
Petition.
10% of the electorate that voted at the previous, in the previous election for the governor, is that correct? I think so. So if 2,000 people voted in Griggs County in the gubernatorial election, it would take, yeah.
And and you said before, the other option, of course, is somebody, a private citizen, goes and gets petitions out for it,
That's
correct?
what the whole that's the way it has to happen.
Yeah, that's
To
what I'm saying.
oppose it or to put it
Uh,
into play,
put it-
either way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, that's
Either way.
that's the other option, you know,
Yeah.
somebody, a private citizen wants to.
If somebody wants on the ballot, they can,
Yeah.
anytime
Yeah.
you could petition for
Yeah.
that. And so then they would petition against it. If no petition came out against it, then at the following meeting, then the Griggs County Commission could approve.
Putting it on the ballot.
No, approve the merger, and then at the next ballot, the people that were petitioning for the office would only have that one office to
Run for it?
run for, yes.
Oh.
You can see the difficulty with having either or the third option. How do you do that? Maybe one of these people running for the auditor or the treasurer didn't want to
Yeah.
run for the combined office. So.
I can see that, but you're only, the petition way, you're only having a couple hundred people decide for the 2,000.
No, that
No.
puts it on to that, the
Puts it on the
petition
ballot.
puts it
Just
on
puts
to
it
a
on the
special
ballot. That's what I was
election
getting
for
at.
everybody to vote.
Yeah,
That's the other,
Yeah.
yeah, whether they want to combined or not, correct?
No,
Or
they
are you
would,
just
they would,
voting for the right individuals?
no,
No.
they would, the vote is for combining the offices.
Okay,
Then at that point, when the offices are either combined or aren't, if they're combined,
Yep.
then when people come in to circulate a petition in order to run for office, to circulate a petition for the joint office. There is no more separate offices then. So you can see, to try to do that now,
Yeah.
I don't think it's possible.
yeah.
I think you would get
That's
tied,
what
I think,
Jamie was saying.
yeah, I think you would get tied up in legalities that you
Yep.
could, and you would end up back at square one, I'm afraid, so.
So that just puts us with only one ballot-ish,
issue.
ballot measure.
Measure the road.
It's the road, and we'll forego the combining of offices till another time.
Yeah, I don't think if we do it according to Century Code, that'll ever be a choice of ours to put it on the ballot.
Oh,
That'll be this choice of the citizens petitioning to have it,
Yeah,
to have a vote on it, yeah.
I think so. If that's the way Jamie read it, it sounded like that's what it would be.
Mhm.
Wayne, shall we set the record straight on our,
Okay, so I'm gonna read this little memo here. The Griggs County Selection Committee recommends to the Griggs County Commissioners the engineering firm of Ackerman Estvold to do the construction engineering on project SC 2000 parenthetical 017 PCN 23229. Signed by John Wakefield, Plain Land Directors. Signed.
so could I get a motion to approve Ackerman and Estvold as our choice as the engineering firm?
I so move.
Motion by Mark to approve Ackerman and Estvold as our construction engineers. Is there a second?
I'll say.
Good. Stephanie?
Seconded by Stephanie.
You haven't been on yet today.
Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Barring none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
I think.
Oh, roll call.
Oh, we have to roll call this one? John?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Stephanie?
Aye.
Dale votes aye. Motion carries. Does that fix it for us now?
It should.
Okay, very
Even
good.
reinforced it.
Yep. So let's see, one more thing that I have is we'd like to start our 10-hour days on the 18th of April, that'd be after Easter. been blading, we've been blading, the guys have been in the shop working on trucks, getting the brakes fixed up and everything, so.
I don't think we have to vote on that. You got a schedule set up.
Yeah.
The date in that policy says the 15th.
15th, but I suppose it's the nearest
Because
Monday
of
or.
Friday.
Yeah.
No.
And I believe, I stopped by the office the other day, you were gonna, I don't know, have you pulled the bridge out of the water yet, or are you
We
gonna?
haven't pulled it out yet, we're kinda waiting for the water to go down.
Sure,
some.
sure. I think it's dropping pretty fast, the way it sounds,
It is.
so,
And I think
That is the bridge we sold for $1.
yeah.
Twice or 3 times.
Yeah, the funny part.
Last time was a
So why do
dollar.
we have to pull it out?
No.
I don't think we ever got our dollar.
Yeah, just a little worried about underneath the bridge, there's cross members of I-beam like that, and it's probably gonna drag and hook on something, so.
You're gonna dredge too.
Yeah, we might take and just flip it upside down if we can, so it rides on the rails upside down instead of.
I think it'll come right out. So, hook onto it, see what happens.
Mark will be there that day for you.
Yeah.
There you go.
Sure, yeah,
It's not necessary it comes out in one piece.
no,
At the township meeting, that was brought up, that bridge.
yeah.
The next day it fell in. That was kind
Yeah.
of funny. It was.
Yeah.
And we'll learn more about this one if we have to do some others.
Like the Ewan Dam?
Yeah,
Or,
in the next one.
or the, yeah.
Is that one kind of slipped partially into the river too,
I think it's, I haven't been out there for a couple of years, but I think it's, one end is kind of tipping down, I think.
So when did you say you're gonna go to 10, 4 10s?
18.
18? Ice ain't gonna be off the lake yet. Yeah.
That's all right. I think another question we had as people that have someone working for us, when and if Jessica becomes the treasurer, before that, we would need somebody to take her place. It's not right now, but Connie, when are you,
End of June.
end of June?
And that's my busiest time of the year with the fair,
Yeah.
so I can't be
Yeah.
left hanging without somebody to help.
Well, don't say you can't be left without paying. I mean, that's
It'd be
a
easier.
decision. That's a decision of the county commission, of course.
Yeah.
But this isn't the time to talk about it. This is a budget issue.
Yeah.
And that's when it should be discussed, because we don't even know what the outcome is yet. Maybe nothing's changed.
Some stuff will be changed, but
You won't know an outcome until the November
Oh.
election. So you have to, when I'm leaving,
Yeah.
you have to appoint somebody to
Somebody.
take my
Oh,
place.
yes, you have to appoint someone to take your place.
Yes.
That's correct.
Well,
I did, that's what I wasn't
right.
talking about that. But as far as somebody for the position, that position is still funded until the end of the year.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
So we can't make a decision on funding it after that until we go through the budget process. So this is a moot point
That's
here.
not the
all
question.
this.
No, you'll just have to advertise to fill the position.
If they want,
Yeah.
but it can only be, the only guarantee, as with any position, it's only filled for till the end of the budget cycle.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
They were just wondering if we would.
That's not the question at all.
Well, I mean, we don't have the ability to tell you you can't, not right now, because if the funding is there to hire the person.
So the question basically is if you will be appointing Jessica, because then she would be leaving the deputy's job, and then that's when someone new is needed.
Yeah, and but don't you suppose we'll be making that decision when the position is gonna be open, for sure,
Well, that's the issue because of the timing.
right?
You know, it'd be good to know at least a month or two before, so you can advertise and get help if she will be appointed.
Mhm.
You can advertise, but you can't hire anybody till the position is vacated, because there isn't anything in the budget to fund your salary, Jessica's salary, and the new hire's salary,
Right.
so.
Right.
Right.
So therefore, you can't do anything until after June 30th then, correct? Is that what I'm hearing here?
You'd
Well,
want
you
to
can
advertise
advertise
prior.
Before
to-
that.
You can advertise and hire, but
Hire.
they can't
Can't
start.
start.
Well, they actually might have to start beforehand, because how do you get training if you don't, how do you train somebody?
Yeah, that's the way government works. It's, they vacate the position and,
Sometimes you don't even fill the position.
you know,
I mean, it hasn't like we haven't been
if you
through this
look at
before.
soil conservation and federal programs, bunch of people retire, they don't hire anybody till they're out the door. Doesn't work well, but it's how they do it. Because then you don't have the money to pay that position when they're
For
being
training.
trained, because it isn't budgeted, so.
That's tough. Baptized by fire. There you go.
Yeah, it's the way it
It
kind of
isn't
works.
as if the county's gonna come to a grinding halt.
No.
I mean, we've tested all limited services in the form of the COVID project and nothing came to a grinding halt. I think we can survive an assistant not starting until the position is vacated.
But we can advertise ahead of time, correct?
Certainly,
Yeah.
we just can't fill it.
Fill it, okay.
That's-
Okay.
Because she works for you, Jeff, and Connie.
And Connie.
Is it 12 hours or 12
12 and a half.
12 and a half a week?
Just something we would want to get out there.
Yeah.
You know, we don't expect something done right today.
Under
At
future
some point.
business.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Wayne.
That's enough. We'll get the minutes written up
Yes.
so I can send it to.
Yes.
Thank you.
The long-awaited employee manual, or do we want to skip our order a little bit and take care of the budget calendar first?
No, that shouldn't take us long though.
Yeah.
Let's get that done.
Can you guys believe it? It's that time. I have been working on putting the old numbers in. The actual numbers are a little tricky this year because I don't have an audit to go by. So
Speaking of audit, have you come back in an audit when you're here for those 3 days or 2 days?
we are very close
Okay.
to the audit being finalized. So I don't have the audited numbers, so I am going by my own books. I'm having to use different reports, so it's taking me just a little bit longer because it's not all on one report this year. But we're doing great. So if you guys are good with this budget calendar, I will be having department heads having their budget in hand by May 9th.
Did we get our sales tax ratio sent in by March 31st? It's due March 31st.
So they say. I can show you instances all through the county's history where it was never sent in. I mean, the 7 years before I became a commissioner, there was nothing done on it. We don't take our orders from the state. They are not in the property tax business by statute. So to have them beat us over the head for something that really isn't any of their concern. They have the right to look at the value of the county, and they have the right, those are open records. If they want those records, we don't use them for anything. We don't use that sales ratio study in anything this county commission does. That is strictly for the state. We've told them over and over again, those are open records. If you want those records, come and get them. This is silliness to be letting the state pound on us so that we tax our citizens more. That's not the job that we're supposed to be doing. It is of no benefit to the citizens of Griggs County to have the state
impose a tax upon them. What's the purpose of that? We're here to represent the citizens to guard against that. We're supposed to do our jobs so they pay the least amount of tax possible. And that's not what happened. That's not what's happening here. And we're still suffering from the last time the state indoctrinated our tax assessor and raised taxes on valuations on half of the townships in the county. And look what happened. Now we're so unbalanced, we can't get it straightened out again. We have to remember who we represent here. Our bosses are not the state of North Dakota. Our bosses are the citizens of Griggs County.
So that's a no.
That's a no.
So that's a no.
No, nothing was sent to the state for,
So we'll get a letter from the state here probably in May again, like we always do. Got it last time.
Yeah, and again,
Just tell me what
the
you-
answer's the same as always. They're welcome to those records. We're not telling them they can't have those records. Here they are. We can box them up and send them to them.
If only we had a tax director to do the sales ratio for us.
Why don't we just hire somebody to hang people too? It's about the same value to the citizens of Griggs County. Why do we want someone that's going to raise people's taxes and cost them money? What is the purpose of that? What's the purpose of it? I need an answer.
Well, we could have equalization of rates for taxes. If we're all equal, then tax would be spread amongst equally. We're not equal right now, like you just said earlier. We have some people who are assessed really high and some of them who are low.
And we have the ability as the county commission at equalization to fix that. We can lower the value of the city. We can lower the value of the townships. We can lower the value of anything we want. It will lower it all down so they are equal. The state will come in and then raise the taxes. Let them raise the taxes. If they want to do that, if they want to cost the citizens more money, why are we being their henchmen for them? We have the ability to lower the valuation of Cooperstown, which will lower the people in Cooperstown's taxes. Every time we send an assessor out there to raise the valuations of the homes, it raises the tax burden on the citizens. It makes zero sense to me why, as an elected official, anybody would be in favor of causing pain to the people they represent. Things have gone completely haywire here. If the citizens want to pay less money, then we give them less government. That's how it works.
we got a little off subject here. We're trying to get the budget calendar approved.
Sorry.
Well, that's also on a calendar.
like,
So those are the dates too. So.
My,
You know, it's not budget though.
my budget is going really well.
I'll make a motion to approve the 20.
I think you don't have to approve it. It's just for information purposes
Just
for
so
you.
everybody knows what the schedule's gonna be.
Okay, never mind.
If you guys felt that we needed more extra time during commissioner review or something like that, I could switch it, but.
Well, we always adjust that anyway.
Yeah, you have special meetings or, yep.
And I got an email from the state auditor. I think you're on vacation, just kind of filling me in on
Oh, okay.
what she was looking for. I'm sure you got.
Oh, no, I didn't get anything from her.
And now the long-awaited employee manual.
Yes. What are your changes you want?
Just the only thing that I was looking for, or it's not really me, it was just the
Vacation?
vacation. It just between 5 to 15. We don't get anything more. I felt that that was a pretty big gap. And if you look at our vacation in the employee manual, it is very lengthy. It is a huge, big table. So if we could simplify this to, you know, what we have here, I think that's,
Vacation eligibility is 3.2,
yep.
page 11.
So your it doesn't affect the budget at all, your vacation request?
No, no. No,
Just that
because
you
it's already,
guys
it's already budgeted for, it's,
You guys are willing to sacrifice working just one person in the office for the day? Is that what it kind of ends up being?
guess just simplify it, I guess, I don't know.
All right.
And then the only other thing that I would have liked to have gotten changed was that payroll thing, and you guys took care of that on the first day, so I'm good.
So how many additional, if it was approved, how many additional days of vacation does that encompass countywide?
Nothing. The max is at it the same. It's just different years you get more.
Right,
Or
but I mean,
get the
if
different-
somebody's in, if we change it, if the change kicks up their vacation days, it has to make a change. Right?
Say that again. What exactly are you asking?
Oh, here it is, vacation.
Let me get it, yeah. Let me get it.
Chapter 3.2.
It appears that first through 4 years, well, from 2 years to 4 years, it's 12 days. So you're pretty much only giving your first year one gets 12 days of vacation. So that's the only thing that you're changing there. If I'm reading that right.
I didn't come up with this.
5 year to
Where is it in the manual?
It's page 11.
Page
yeah,
11,
Page
it's-
11.
Chapter 3.2.
year. So you're pretty much just adding 1 year for year 5 to 8. All right.
Okay, so what we're looking at on page 11, is this what's proposed, or is this what's?
Current.
That's what's
Current.
This is
current.
what.
That's current.
That's
Yep.
current.
Yep. And then what we're proposing is on page
Page
22.
Yeah, this is what it's proposed. All right.
So they want to give 1 year people also 2 days instead of 10. They want to give 1 more day for people who've worked 5 to 8 years. And they want to jump the 9 to 13 4 days.
So that's my question. So these people that fall in these categories, how many additional days of vacation is that gonna add?
Oh.
Yeah, so it's going to amount to X amount of days of vacation over the county that now we're going to be paying people not to work from right now. So this isn't a simple matter of, well, it doesn't matter, it doesn't increase anything. This is going to be a whole bunch of days that were previously being worked, now aren't going to be worked as if we adopt this. And the only way you can assume that not coming to work isn't bad for the citizens of Griggs County is if those people that were at work weren't doing nothing. Because if there's no difference between being at work or working, then why are they here?
Who does this affect? Who does this vacation affect?
This
All
affect-
departments?
Everybody.
Road crew.
Just
road
not
guys.
elected officials.
They can come and go as they want.
But
They're elected officials.
but the it benefits Christie
Yep.
4/5.
Anybody but elected official.
Yeah.
But they just come close, please, anyways.
I agree with that, and that's why they won't let us that's why they won't punch a time clock. So I'll agree with that statement. And they would too. That's why
But
the fight for the time clock is always the deal.
Well, we can't approve this because they're already telling us that they're short of help.
well, here's the thing with the office
I was
people.
wondering when you're gonna make that statement.
With the office people, you guys just work by yourselves, but the road crew, if somebody takes a day off, who's going to do their,
Exactly.
somebody's gonna have to work overtime to cover that other person's day off. Or whatever.
But they all take that day off and the roads don't get done that day, or less gets done.
I mean, granted, well, what's one day? But one day for everybody is how many days, but.
Well, so I asked Wayne one time.
I don't know
said,
how
many
Wayne does
miles
it."
can they do an hour of blading? And I think it was 3. So if you take the 3 times the, how many hours in a day, you'd find out how many less that they get
See, Steph,
bladed or.
I understand your question, and coming from the industry that you come from, it's a very valid question. If you lose a nurse or a caretaker, someone has to take their
That
place.
person's position for the day.
Not so in this situation.
The work they just don't
They just don't get quite as much work done.
get as much work done.
Yeah, so it isn't a mandatory because, like in your situation, well, we need somebody there, they have to be there. You have to hire someone, pay someone overtime to come in. It's not that way
Right.
with this.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, valid question, but no, there's.
Say Sam's deputy isn't there, then Sam just is there and does the
Sam's
work.
willing to punt in for her that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
And the same.
What's one more
The
day,
same
but-
holds, well, really, I mean, the same holds true for everything we do here.
Yeah.
If it means somebody's not being here or not having an assistant, all that happens is the time to do the work just gets spread out a little bit. It still gets done.
right.
It isn't like we have to have someone there because someone's coming in and they have to be sort of boom, 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 boom. That isn't the case.
Okay, now I'll really stir the pot.
But you know what? These half days are
No,
dumb,
I'm
just so
gonna
you
say.
guys know.
Okay,
I think these half days are like, regardless, these half days are stupid.
okay,
I'm like, really? I'm gonna take a
let me really stir the
16 and a
pot.
half.
So our road department's gonna go on 4 10-hour days. So when you're taking vacation time, you're taking a day and a quarter or a day and a fifth
Yeah.
for every day.
Yep.
That's a hard time. That's a hard thing. Maybe we're reading into it more than we need to.
What's that?
I said maybe we're reading into it more than we need
I
to.
think it's fine the way it is, and we just leave it alone.
Yeah. And I think on the additional holiday, I think we just keep the number of holidays the same and let the employees pick which 10 they want. Or 9.5 they want, or maybe Steph wants to get rid of that half day, I'm not sure.
Do that. That half day is ridiculous.
Well, I'll tell you what the half day is.
Well, round down, not up.
It's like, jeez.
The half day is, I believe, is Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they only get that after they've been here for
No,
15
you're looking.
years.
You guys are talking about. You're still talking about vacation. They're talking about holiday.
Oh.
We switched holidays, yeah.
Well, yeah, switching pages on me. Well, why are we changing the holiday thing now?
They wanted to add another holiday.
Juneteenth.
Well, that's a federal holiday. The damn thing got that dang thing. Pardon my language. Is a federal holiday.
Yeah, but
Can you
we have the
explain that,
ability to
Dan?
change our,
Yeah.
we have the ability to change our
Juneteenth.
policy manual.
Yeah, it's a federal holiday that was enacted by
Yeah.
the legislator.
Yeah, well, we have the ability to change the policy manual. Right now there's 10, is there 10 days? 10 and 9.5, 10.5. And this would be 11.5 because our policy manual says that we give,
Any day that the president or the governor deems a holiday, then we get it.
Yeah,
But we
I'm
don't-
still cool with that. I'm cool with that.
but we don't have to let the president or the governor decide when our employees get a holiday.
Come on, let them have that holiday day.
Yeah.
They can have Juneteenth.
So they can, if they want, if they want to give up another one, go ask your constituents how many paid holidays they get. And then when they say, well, we get maybe 2, then you tell them, well, I'm thinking about giving the county employees 11. They'll say, 11? What are you doing? We don't get that.
So how many, what's the wording? Are they mandatory, are they federal holidays? It's not you may take certain ones? Do you pick? What is the
As
word
far as what the
change?
feds
Yeah.
say,
That only involves federal
That
That
employees.
only
Yeah.
involves federal
Yeah, that's-
employees.
But like you're saying, our handbook.
Our holidays says the county will grant holidays time off to all employees on the holidays listed below. It doesn't say,
There is a,
Federal or.
Read the,
Below it.
what's the crossed out words that we got here? Is that actual still current part of it, or is that what you want to take out?
where's the new language that I gave
you gave me language?
you? Quite a while ago.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
look at this. I bet I have it.
You have it.
You crossed it off.
Yeah, that was,
So,
Oh,
that,
that was probably
To
yours.
take
that
that
was
out.
I gave it to
probably
Steph, yeah.
what page is that on?
because you're a kind man, thank you. That,
That's what I gave it to, because I had it
page
written down.
12,
12.
chapter 3.3 on the manual.
okay, so every appointed holiday presidents, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I'm okay with not changing the holidays things and just keep continuing with that one.
You want to add a day?
Sure.
Oh.
It just says we'll follow it. Just keep following it. If it was never brought up for discussion, it would have just been automatically added to it anyways, because according to this, we appoint every holiday. So it would have just been added automatically without even, if you would have even talked about it, you guys would have just done it. According to here.
If we weren't updating the policy manual.
Right.
And that's why we're updating the policy.
Yeah. We'll be following the policy manual by adding Juneteenth on it. Such a weird holiday. I want that holiday too.
You don't get it though, do you?
No, I don't get it. I don't get a lot of these.
What page is that on?
12.
Page 12. Chapter 3.3.
Right, and so right now there's,
So if the question that you had, Mark, is if we're required to do any of them or not?
no, none.
Okay.
So there's 10 and a half days we have right now.
Our manual requires it, but by order of Congress, we're not required to do anything.
Yeah, so it's 10 and a half days right now. So I would like to change the language to Griggs County will recognize 10 and a half individual holidays proposed by the majority vote of the employees and approved by the county commission. This process will be repeated each time a new holiday is approved by any branch of the government, state or federal. So we don't reduce the number of holidays that employees are granted, although I'd like to, but we don't increase them. And so that if we keep this policy in place, every time the president or the governor decides it's time for another holiday, they're basically running our government for us. Which doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, I'm sure somebody would be mad at us if, not many probably, but I'm sure somebody would be mad at us if when Trump is reelected, he declares a holiday on his birthday or something like that. So we can't pick and choose which holidays we want, but the employees can.
I like the idea of the employees being able to pick their calendar throughout the year as a.
On a majority vote, not
Yeah,
individually.
yeah.
And it doesn't change then until there's a new holiday proposed.
Or until the following year.
Well, I don't know if they want to change it every year.
No, until when there's a new holiday added, then
That's
they would have the ability to either, yeah,
Accept that one or take
or reshuffle the whole thing.
Yeah.
If they vote each time there's a new holiday added, that's fine. But again, I'll make the point. If
So
you
do
sh-
all of the, my question,
Go ahead.
gonna stir the pot again, but do all the other places, like, will everybody that the county needs to work with besides the community members, are they all closed on these holidays also? So it's kind of like, is it worth for us to have them here if they can't get any work done because everybody they need to contact with is closed? You know, post offices are all closed, banks are all closed, you know, is their work production really going to be, I mean, is it?
So then the question is, how much work do you do with city auditors or state auditors on a daily basis?
Yeah. Like if
Yeah,
it was a holiday and everybody else was closed
except for us.
would it, I mean, what would your work production be? Would it change your work at all? Does it affect your work at all? You still can get your work done, or it's just you do different things?
Yeah.
We're here for the citizens of Griggs
Yeah.
County,
Yeah.
not for the other,
Yeah.
not for the government entities. So more than likely, the citizens of Griggs County aren't gonna have that day off anyway. They're not gonna be able to come in here, but I don't understand the logic. If no one else is open, we shouldn't be open, we should still pay the people for not doing anything.
You're a taskmaster, John.
Again, I talked to quite a few people about this,
Yeah.
and I never got one response that wasn't somebody pissed off about it. Because again,
Sure.
you've struggled to find a working citizen out there that has this kind of package, and you won't find
Yeah.
any. And then
Besides the
take it
banks.
one step farther,
From the bank, yeah.
and then take
Banks
it
and
one step
governments.
farther. We are making those people that don't get this day off work to pay taxes so these people have a day off.
The nature of the beast.
Doesn't have to be. It shouldn't be. Of the people, for the people.
Do you want to put your language in the form of a motion and we'll have ourselves a little vote?
Griggs County will recognize 11 and a half individual holidays proposed by a majority vote of the employees and approved.
10 and a half.
10 and a half, excuse me, yeah. 10 and a half. I had 11 here. And approved by the county commission. This process will be repeated each time a new holiday is approved by any branch of the federal or state government. It's 10 and a half. I counted, there's 11 lines here, but one of them is a half day of Christmas Eve.
So you just want the first paragraph on page 12 taken out and yours writing gone in?
Yeah, right, yeah.
Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second. You guys can change it next year.
Seconded by Mark. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any further discussion?
Maybe a clarification.
Okay.
How do we, in bold down below that, regular full-time employees, regular part-time employees, introductory employees, how do we prorate this?
I don't know. How do you do that?
I'm sorry, what was the question? How do I prorate the holidays?
So a regular part-time employee, and it says parentheses prorated, so if it's a half-time employee, does it get half
Half that day.
half the day off?
Paid for half the day.
You paid for half the day.
Okay.
Yep. So Maddie would get the full 7.5 hours for the holiday. Christy would get 4/5 of it.
4.5 hours.
that.
That's what we do with our big holidays too. Actually,
Yeah,
my
no,
office
no.
staff.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ours is even if it's not even a regular schedule. If that person has a set schedule and they don't work, let's say Thursdays, and a holiday lands on that Thursday, they don't get that holiday pay because they're not there that Thursday. So they don't get the day off. Weekend ones, we usually have a Friday or a Monday, and I let my own staff choose that. But
It would really clear up a whole bunch of stuff if we just went to comp time on the whole employee manual, but that's not gonna happen. It was- it was sick leave, did away with everything and just had comp time and it would really cure it, but no, I understand the prorated part, yeah.
So what part of this holiday language are we removing?
I think just that first paragraph, every day appointed by the President of the United States or with the governor of North Dakota
Okay.
for a public holiday or designated by the board. I don't really think that we should,
And replaced by the motion.
yeah, by the motion.
Okay.
You know, most holidays, national holidays should really be in the heart of every American, and it looks like we're getting some of these that aren't, you know, that don't mean a lot to.
Well, let's see how this goes. You'll be able to start it.
Well, we
When
don't
does
have a
this-
motion.
When would this take effect?
As soon as
If
she
we-
does her vote, Susan, she's good at having votes, straw votes, so as soon as she passes the petition around.
Probably,
then-
they're
so
probably
this- as
clicking
of-
the keys now.
Huh?
I say they're already clicking the keys on their vote now.
I haven't got the roll call vote yet, so I don't know if you guys just changed
I
this
know.
or not.
I know.
But when would this take effect then? So you, as soon as the manual is approved?
Once you guys approve the manual, I'll go ahead and.
And start,
Mhm.
okay?
Do we want this roll call vote or voice vote?
I do roll call.
Okay, John,
Aye.
Scott,
No.
Mark,
Aye.
Stephanie,
no,
Dale votes aye. Motion carries.
That's the only policy, that's the only employee manual thing I have. The rest of it's, you could work forever on it.
See how cumbersome it's gonna get with this votes, you know? Two people might want it here, another one might want it there. You know, how are you gonna vote when they want which ones?
The language, you just pick your 10.
Yeah,
Majority says majority vote, so you just have them check, and then you just go through and majority vote. So it's going to,
Okay.
the holiday with the
most,
least amount of votes is gonna get thrown out in this instance.
sure,
Yeah.
okay,
But we already guaranteed one is staying in there because it's 10.5 days. So the half day is staying in there for sure.
yeah.
for what, vacation?
No, for
Holiday.
these holidays.
Oh, I was just looking at the vacation going, "You guys, we gotta
You're so
change-
mad about
that half days just drives me nuts. It's like, seriously, can we just
Well,
get some
well,
nice round numbers and say between this year to this year to this year to this year, even if we don't do this, but it's like, how many employees here have been here for 12, 15, 16, 17 to 20 some years, 30 years?
Oh,
Bunch of them.
many,
Have they?
yeah,
Because like this half day is just ridiculous.
because I think like the
I'm
road
all in
department.
favor of it as long as we round down.
Well, even if you went,
What's the least amount of years that the road department has?
Kenny Sand.
Can you-
Has 7,
7?
maybe 8. I think he started around the same time I did. So 7.5.
yeah, these half days are ridiculous, but I
No,
didn't
he'd
really.
be-
Are they a nightmare?
8 in May.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
They're
8
stupid
years
to
in
me.
May.
Are they a nightmare to do the half days of vacation time and stuff?
Wayne takes care of that and tells us what the vacation's supposed to be, so I don't know.
Okay.
A lot of your questions were
Yeah.
for Wayne and,
Well, ours just goes that once you've been here for 15 years, Banana Park fees, like once you've been here for 15 years, you go straight to 20. You know, and then after that, you're done. You don't get any more, whether you're here for 30 or 40 years. You just 15 years, 20.
Does anybody have any accrued vacation that they don't use
Mhm.
on the books from year to year?
There's a max on how many you can carry over from when you hit your thing, and then it goes down. I know the sheriff's office, they can't take their vacation because they
Yeah.
lose a lot of vacation time. I don't know what the,
How about Connie? We're gonna end up paying her.
nope, she's elected official. She doesn't accrue vacation or sick leave. Yeah, no.
You know, a lot of entities at some point will pay off all their accrued vacation and then use it or lose it from that point forward, but it can be pretty
But we have a
expensive.
limit on how much they can,
You know.
Carry from
Mhm.
over, yeah.
does the same thing.
My max is 120 hours of vacation, and then you just cap. Then you just don't accrue anymore.
Yeah.
And then you just, at that point, it's like, dude, take some time off. Go do something.
Yeah.
You know, so it's there to use it because you want people to take time off. You want people to go do things with their family and whatever. It's your reward. Go do things. You know, so don't let it sit in accrue and don't ever use it, and then it caps off and then you lose it. So yeah.
Explain to me how they, I know you explained it before, but how they handle when people donate their vacation time.
So it's usually a situation like if somebody gets sick or something like that, then they will fill out a form to bring to you guys to say, I'd like to donate, so many hours to this other person. And we haven't had that for quite
We
a while.
haven't had that for quite a while.
Yeah.
But does it come, I know the answer, of course. Does it come off the available vacation time, or it comes off the vacation time that wasn't usable anyway?
The available.
The available, so
Yeah.
it decreases the person's available vacation time, not the excess vacation
Right.
time. Okay.
Yep.
That was the answer you didn't expect.
Yeah.
Huh? That was the answer I didn't expect, because it wasn't that way before.
Yeah, no.
It is now.
Yep. If somebody's donating their time, they're donating the time that it's not that they're going to lose it.
It's usable time.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Because the last time I asked that question, not of you, it wasn't that way.
Yeah, no.
So when did
I guess that's when that's how I understood it to be, is that's how I've always done it. It
Okay.
hasn't been where
So
somebody's
you
gonna
have-
lose
You
this.
have a spreadsheet that shows how much vacation time is actually available?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
Not showing, and also showing how much was lost.
Well, after their year, then
It just
it's
stays
you
there.
just look at it and it just goes back. Yeah.
People tend to take their holiday vacation. I mean, they get if they've been here for a while, they get 15 a year. So that's like a day a month. They tend to, and then the 3 days layover, but yeah, they tend to take it.
Does there anybody else have anything to address in the employee manual?
Didn't you have some stuff? You sure? Yeah. I think the first time we talked about it, you did, but I can't remember what it was. You were on. Yeah.
I don't know. What do I got?
You did.
Did I change my mind? I don't know.
I can't remember what it was.
Nope, I don't think I have anything, to be honest. No, because we just discussed vacation and holiday was the only two that we discussed.
Okay, move on to Old Courthouse.
Do you
New
guys
Courthouse.
want to do a motion to approve the employee manual as a whole?
Have we done the changes? Did we approve all the
So I just have
changes?
that one change of the holidays, and that got approved to be changed.
Well,
What
Are we-
about your first, the auditors? Did we
You
vote to
guys
change
got that
also?
changed,
we
yep.
changed that.
Yep.
We're
Do
not
we
doing
need a
anything.
motion to approve the employee manual as a whole, or are we good?
No, we need a motion to that because then it would be
revised.
Represented in the cover sheet.
Right.
I so move.
Motion by Mark to approve the revisions to the Griggs County Employee Policy Manual with a revision date of April 2022. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by John. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none, will proceed to vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Alright.
Well,
Yeah.
3-1. So that no longer is needed.
Old courthouse, new courthouse.
Haven't heard anything from the state again?
I haven't, no.
Okay. The museum was talking about if they were able to possibly, I think before we gave them opportunity to use a air conditioning unit.
Yes. Remember that? Yeah.
One of those mini splits.
Yeah.
Yeah, if that would be all right, I guess that I'll see what it would cost to move it, and I'll bring it back to you guys and that sort of thing.
Now, any government entity has the ability to use that property, correct?
Shouldn't be a problem with that, I don't think.
Right.
They're a county entity.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think he brought that up quite a
Yeah,
while
we
ago.
did.
And
Yeah.
nobody ever.
They'd already put the other one in,
Yeah.
so this time we're ahead of the game,
Yeah.
we hope.
What are their?
It was gonna be the veterans wing,
Sure.
and they were gonna do
I think
that.
what are there 3 mini splits up there?
There's 4.
So the original part of the building, they're looking at redoing,
Okay.
insulating it and those sorts of
Mhm.
things, so they could possibly use it at 3-season kind of a deal.
Right.
I'll give you a little bit of a update on that. We're honoring Lois and Vernon Knutson as longtime members of the museum, and also the Baileys, Katie and Tom.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do we have any future business?
You guys all got the email from the DHS, right? On the zone approval on that? You guys get it?
I just sent it out.
You sent it out.
Okay.
So can we put it on the agenda for next meeting on that? They need to approve the plan, I guess, you know,
Okay.
for the zone. So I haven't a chance to read through it at all, so.
Any other future business?
Yeah, I'd like to to discuss a county-wide hiring freeze. In preparing for the budget, it looks like there's probably gonna be some dramatic increases because of the cost of goods. And we're gonna have to find some ways to offset those increases.
Or just our straight employee costs are gonna, with inflation, are gonna be
Yeah, yeah.
quite a bit more than we've experienced in our tenure.
So if we have anybody that retires or terminates their employment, we need to look real carefully on whether or not we're gonna replace that person or not. Not on a personal level, but on a monetary level.
Retail departments, well, how many people they can employ?
Via the budget. So the scenario is somebody quits, an employee quits halfway through the year. That person that runs a budget, whether it be Samantha or somebody else, has the ability to hire someone to finish out the year. It makes it tough on that employee, it makes it tough on us then if we have to then cut an employee or get rid of an employee when we've hired one for 6 months. So it's only fair to the employee to know up front that this might not be a full-time position. Thusly, a hiring freeze, and that puts everybody on notice that every employee is going to be scrutinized as to where they fit into the overall budget scheme of things. And we've had in the past, we've had that abused a little bit.
Are you overstaffed? Are your departments overstaffed? I don't even know.
Again,
If they're not
I understand
overstaffed.
your staff, your view of staffing is because it's mandatory. A government view of staffing is not to that extent. What happens if we lose one employee? All that happens is government slows down a little bit. We lost all the employees during COVID, and I never had one person call up and complain that things weren't getting done. So there's a lot of room here. And the other equation is government. This whole process is a decision of the people that elected us and the people that pay for it. If the people say we're only going to give you $300, then we give them $300 worth of government. Not the other way around. We don't tell them what they need and then take their money. We decide whether or not that money should be spent. So if we're not hiring enough people, then the people that you represent will tell you that. We need to hire more people. Please hire more people so you can raise my taxes. I don't hear that a lot. So we have to put this back into perspective that this group here, our only duty is to manage the finances. And that's not driven by the county employees, and we're not a cradle to grave employment agency. We provide services at the best cost. And this is going to spell out real heavily here with the way this economy is going. There's people that are hurting out there, and we need to tighten our belts here. I guarantee it. So as far as I'm concerned, every nickel needs to be looked at.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Dang it, you beat me to it.
Motion by Stephanie to adjourn, seconded by Scott. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Barring none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Okay.
Motion carries. Meeting's adjourned at 4:08 p.m. on Thursday, April 7th. Next regular meeting is April 21st at 2:30 p.m. in this
Jimmy.
room.